Hello and welcome to the latest edition of the New Haven Independent Vlog News Summary, direct from our newsroom, otherwise known as my compost heap. Let's see what top stories we're working on this week. Uh-oh, I have a weapon here. This can be used in an illegal act in Connecticut. This is a camera. Another journalist, who's also an activist, Ken Krajewski, he took a photograph of the governor at the inaugural parade and he got arrested. It turned out that he was on a watch list. This vegetarian, pacifist, anti-war guy was on a watch list. The state drew up of people who were dangerous, who were a threat. So it became illegal to take a photograph of the governor on a public street at an inaugural parade. This arrest has sent shockwaves through the state. People are wondering about this watch list. And here's, I think, a point that people haven't yet been talking about and they should look at. Of course, in the post-9/11 era, we need, in any area, the government has a role to look at potential threats, although this is ridiculous. Ken Krajewski was not a threat. But we do need to look at threats. But what gets done with that information? The state compiled a list of threats, which he shouldn't have been on, but he was. When they gave his photograph to the Hartford police, they way overreacted and went after to arrest this guy for stepping in a street and taking a photograph. And they treated him rudely, too, and it violated his rights and how they set the bond. So one of the lessons here, in addition to those being talked about by even the governor herself, who wasn't happy with the arrest, is how we train cops to respect the civil rights, even of people they're convinced are dangerous, whether or not they are. There was no hint of an illegal act here, but because of the fears drummed up by this list, untrained cops in Hartford, who are notorious for violating protesters' rights already, mishandled this case. This would never have happened in New Haven, where police and protesters always arrange and know how to deal with these kind of situations. Let's see what else we're working on. Martin Luther King's birthday is coming up. Here's a great biography I've been reading of King called Parting the Waters. And a quote made me think of something happening right now in our state. Dwight D. Eisenhower was reluctant to support Martin Luther King's call for civil rights legislation. And here's why. Eisenhower said you can't legislate morality. True enough. That's what King said. True enough, but a law may not make a man love me, said King, but it can stop him from lynching me. The point is, of course you can't legislate morality, but that doesn't mean you throw up your hands and do nothing about it and not try to protect people who are the victims of immorality or hate. You know why I was thinking of that? Right now, even though Democrats across the country are passing ethics laws, ethics reform, clean government laws in Washington at the Capitol and in state governments, here in New Haven, the Democrats who run the Board of Aldermen have been stalling and burying for a year now an ethics reform law. And their reason, believe it or not, is that you can't legislate ethics. Of course you can't legislate ethics. You can't make people be ethical or have ethical hearts. But you can, A, pass laws that give expectations for what the rules of right and wrong are. B, let people know if they want to do right, how to do right. And C, protect us from people who are going to do wrong anyway, and put blocks in their path and give us tools to stop people from going through revolving door lobbying, from breaking rules to let people be fake full-time employees as they are in New Haven, but be called temporary workers so that they can bypass rules on where to live, things like that. They're missing the boat, and that's why. What other stories we got? Oh, a paper bag. You know what? In New Haven now, they're cracking down on bars that are causing problems in neighborhoods. And in New Hallville, neighbors of the Tourist Cafe might need to start wearing paper bags. There's a woman who lived in a Habitat for Humanity home who left the home after the organization was threatened when she testified about the crimes taking place by the bar. And other witnesses went to the State Liquor Control Commission and testified against this bar and couldn't come back because of threats they claimed, which the bar denies. So here's hoping that their courage prevails and that the Tourist Cafe gets its due, and that other people can find the courage, paper bag or not, to stand up. Until next time, this is the Vlog News Summary, and remember, always pick up your trash.